Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court is looking into whether or not the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms were acting in the law or within the realm of the law when they changed the definition of a firearm back in 2022. It was all an effort to curb so-called ghost guns. Those are homemade weapons used in crimes. Our Michael Sandlin has been looking into this issue. He joins us with more now. So, Michael, why did the ATF change the definition? And did the Supreme Court seem receptive?
Well, Jeff, according to the ATF agent I spoke to, in recent years there's been a tremendous spike in criminals getting their own firearms from mail-order kits online. Guns with no serial number, making them untraceable, like a ghost. The ATF wanted to change the definition of a firearm to include kits like these, and based on early reactions from the Supreme Court, this loophole might finally come to a close.
This is the serial number of a Glock 17 pistol. If it's ever used in a crime, police can use this number to trace all of the people who have legally purchased the weapon, giving them another lead in their investigation.
I've been involved in numerous cases where that was the key piece of evidence to identify a shooter.
That's Special Agent Daryl McCormick with the Columbus Division of ATF. He says recently that method of crime solving has been at risk, saying in the past few years there's been a rash of untraceable weapons found at crime scenes. And last year alone, over 25,000 ghost guns were seized, according to the ATF's data.
At that point in time, there is no record for us to follow. So it ends up a vital lead that law enforcement may utilize is not available.
McCormick says, well, they don't see them often here in the Buckeye State. States with stricter gun regulations like New York or California are full of them because they're just a few clicks away.
There were kits that were being sold online through the mail where it would take no more than 30 minutes to an hour for the average person with really no skill to assemble.
And it was all perfectly legal, because when the definition for a firearm was written back in 1968, things like easy-to-make kits wouldn't classify as guns.
So that rule and that regulation was fine for many years until the last 10 or 15 years when a lot of things happened.
McCormick says two things happened. One, guns started to no longer fit the definition. And two, they started to see more and more of these homemade weapons pop up. So in April of 2022, the ATF set a new definition for firearms, which included kits in their new language, and would require all kit sellers to be registered and all the parts to be given a serial number. The idea was immediately challenged by the lower courts. But on Tuesday, CBS News reports a majority of the U.S. Supreme Court were seemingly sympathetic to the idea, signaling a potential turning point for these ghost guns. But how do gun owners feel about this? Peter Arquette, the owner of ADCO Firearms in Sylvania, says this is just another example of government overreach.
ATF doesn't make laws, so when laws need to be updated, instead of going through the proper legal channels, government bureaucracies tries to make up rules. They're trying to change the definition of what a firearm is, what a receiver is, and that's all statutory law, and it's not their place.
At this time, it's unclear when the Supreme Court will give their official ruling on this case. In studio, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.